The Philadelphia Eagles have locked up the 2 seed in the 2024 playoffs, and now they get to host the New York Giants in the last week of the season. And the big storyline is going to be Saquon Barkley's push to break Eric Dickerson's single season rushing record. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this game and also talk about our thoughts on Saquon Barkley's season and how they should approach Week 18. Before we get into that, if you like the work that we put out, be sure to subscribe to the Tracy Take and also tackle that bell to get notified when new videos come out. And while you're at it, leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think will win and why. And Ryan, so looking at it now, they're locked into the 2 seed, and I don't believe there's any way that they could get the first overall seed based off the tiebreakers of the conference records compared to Minnesota and also Detroit as well, who are now going to be playing on Sunday Night Football in Week 18. So I think Philadelphia is locked in at number 2, unless if I'm looking at it wrong. I don't feel like there's any way they can move up. There's obviously no way they can move down. And so this game really doesn't mean much of anything. They're probably going to rest Jalen Hurts. They're probably going to rest some of their main stars as well. But there's one big star that has a major storyline going on as Saquon Barkley. That's going to be kind of like my whole point of the video here because it'd be super cool for him to break the record. He's 101 yards away, which honestly, I think he's done it 11 times this season, so it shouldn't be that hard to get 100 rushing yards for him. But do you risk playing him? Genuine question. Like, and Eagles fans, I want you to comment it just because it's such a big deal, obviously. But at the same time, though, too, it could be cool to have the rushing record, but do you want a Super Bowl ring more? And it's like, if he gets hurt, like what are the ramifications? So I want to throw it over to you. What are your thoughts on playing him?
So if I'm Philadelphia, I am going to Saquon Barkley, and I'm going to be like, if you want to play on Sunday and go break this record, then we will do it. As soon as you break the record, you're sitting for the rest of the game. But if it to me, I leave it totally up to Saquon Barkley. If Saquon Barkley wants to play, I think that's fine. If he's like, I'm going to put the team first, I'm going to be the bigger man here and let this record continue to stand, then I think you rest him. It totally depends on him. The thing that is, I think that is impressive, and I'm sure Saquon Barkley would disagree with me. I can't think of like a lot of like big hits or like a lot of punishment that he has really taken this year. And like obviously he ran for 2,000 yards. His body is not nearly as healthy as it was in August, but it's not like he's been super banged up or like battling injuries week to week just to get on the field on Sundays.
Yeah. Well,
He's been relatively healthy throughout all of this, and this Giants defense, you can definitely run. He could get 100 yards and a half and then sit.
he could get
The
that in the first quarter.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's Giants defense, if we're looking at it now, they are 31st when it comes to rushing yards allowed. So
Yeah.
not the worst, but pretty close. I think the worst rushing defense, who was that? The Panthers. Show you how bad the Panthers defense are. They have the worst rushing defense by 35 yards.
Yeah.
It's awful. So, and the
Yeah.
Giants defense is obviously not any good either. And so, I understand your approach, but I also think too, if you're the player, you're like, yeah, I'm going to go play, like, because we're talking about it
Yeah.
because one, this is our job, but also two as well. It's like the end goal obviously is going to be the Super Bowl. And I think if you leave it up to the player, you bring in that risk because he doesn't think he's going to get hurt. No one ever thinks that they do, and he's probably not, because I think one of the things, to your point, is reason why he doesn't seem like he's got too many miles on him this year, or doesn't seem like he's banged up, because that offensive line, it seems like he doesn't get touched until he's 2 or 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. That
Yeah.
offensive line
He's
has
always
been
falling forward.
been so dominant.
Yeah.
Uh, and but that being said, though, man, it would be so cool to see him break the record. And when he does, if they do play him, I'm a big, when it comes to like record breaking seasons. Like, for example, when Russell Westbrook broke the triple double record games, like, I instantly was like, that's got to be the MVP, because that's such a historic record. Like, for him to do that is
Yeah.
phenomenal. And to me, I think if he does that, the whole debate now has been between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Joe Burrow started to creep his way in there as well. If he does that, to me, I would be like, well, shoot. I mean, none of those guys. Now, Joe Burrow's had a great season also, but what Saquon has brought to this Eagles team that could already run the ball pretty well, but they were
Yeah.
definitely missing something last year. Like Miles Sanders was really good, but then he left. I think he was a product of how good that offensive line was. DeAndre Swift pretty sure, DeAndre Swift was kind of the same way. Like had
Yeah.
a fine season, but there's
He was a
definitely something.
1,000-yard rusher. Like,
But you and I
yeah.
could be not really. You know what I mean,
No.
though.
Yeah.
But I like how as soon as I said that, we both looked at each other. We're like, "Yeah, no, I'm too fat."
Yeah.
But Saquon though has just meant something else, and what he's brought to this team, like where would this Eagles team be if it wasn't for him, especially too when AJ Brown was injured, Devontae Smith was injured, Jalen Hurts has been injured now, and he's the guy that's been consistent this entire time. You take him out of this Eagles team, and it's the most valuable player award. I think he deserves some serious consideration, especially too if he breaks this record.
Yeah. No, I agree, and he definitely should be in that conversation. It is just such a quarterback needy and dependent league that those guys almost win by default. But this is like when Adrian Peterson won comeback player of the year and MVP in his 2,000-yard rushing season. This is that caliber of
Yeah.
season. So, granted, I think that was a 16-game season. So, like,
Well,
it's a it's a
Saquon
little.
Barkley, Saquon Barkley did it in 16 games.
No,
He
no,
broke
he
2,000
broke
yards.
2,000 yards. My only thing too, there have been multiple games where it's like the Eagles have been up by so much because Saquon Barkley has run for 3 touchdowns that like he was like, I'm not even playing the fourth quarter. Where that never happened with the Vikings in that season with Adrian Peterson. So for
Yeah.
me, like I think if you have a chance to go and break a historic record like this, I think you take that opportunity because frankly, what is he? 26? How old is Saquon
Here's
Barkley?
Saquon. He's
Yeah,
27.
he's 27. Okay,
Yeah.
so he'll be 28 next year. He has 2 or 3 seasons left, according to football statistics that 30-year-old running backs fall off a cliff. So, like, I think you do it. I think you go for it. Do try to make history. I don't really think that they would be jeopardizing, and I'm totally knocking on wood as I say this, but I don't really think that they would be jeopardizing that much uh going into going into the playoffs. Like
I disagree. I
well,
mean,
okay, but like
I mean,
yes, you're
We just had a debate if he should be MVP or not. So I think they're jeopardizing a lot.
okay. No, no, no. I that's yes, I agree. That's not necessarily what I was saying in the sense of like the chances of him actually going out there and like really getting hurt are relatively low,
I don't know.
especially against this defense.
I think it'd be. I mean, we're totally talking about hypotheticals here. Also, too, I'm picking the Eagles to win this game. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I am also.
Even if it's back, even or if it's Tanner McKee or whatnot, and so, um, uh, I think the risk level of getting injured is the same on every single play. Like it's probably really low, but at the same time, it's the same every single
Yeah.
play. Anything can go and happen.
Now,
It's more just on that random what if, just because the whole goal of it is to go win the Super Bowl, and the
yeah.
record's really cool. And it's probably hypocritical of me. I would probably go for it as well, but luckily I'm not the one making the decision.
Yeah, yeah.
So it'll be very
My
interesting.
my only thing is it's not like you can just play Saquon Barkley. If you want Saquon Barkley to break this record, you have to also play the starting offensive line. Because you don't
Yeah.
want Saquon Barkley out there behind a backup offensive line. Because then that is to me when it's like he gets held up at the line of scrimmage and somebody comes in and like somebody gets knocked back into a leg and like that's how disaster happens.
No.
Um and so like that is like the other thing too is like if Saquon Barkley does this, uh I think like you have to start the whole offensive line. If you ask any of those players though, I have a feeling they'll be like, yeah, let's go break this record.
Well, and that's where you can't leave it up to the players. Well, if you're having a serious conversation about it, now, like if Harry Roseman is that his name, like the
Yeah.
GM, the front office president, It like they will be the ones that will nix it. Like because even Nick Sirianni will probably be like he's gonna be in those conversations, but he seems like a player coach.
Yeah.
And be like, no, like let's go try and break this record. Like we're gonna run the
Well,
ball.
yes, I agree, but I also feel like it would be a cultural thing to like be like, all right, let's have the team decide whether we're going to break this record. Because I think as much as this is a Saquon Barkley record, this is also a big thing for this offensive line. Like all those guys, this offensive coordinator, like it's not just a Saquon
Yeah,
Barkley's name and Saquon's Barkley jersey will go to the Hall of Fame. This is not just a Saquon Barkley achievement.
yeah. We'll have to go up now. Like if he does this, we have family that lives in Canton, Ohio, so we'll have to go up there if he does it, and then like because we'll go see the jersey and the ball and everything.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. No, honestly. And
yeah,
so I think that would be really cool.
this is how great Saquon Barkley is he's forcing us to go see family so we could go see his jersey. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I really think that they should make an attempt for it. I know that's kind of taken over this whole video, but this game really has nothing to there's no playoff implications. Both teams are locked in kind of where they are. Uh
the only other thing I think we could bring up for Giants fans is it cracks me up that again for second year in a row that they won a game to get them out of the first overall pick or out of the quarterback conversation.
yeah.
And so now, like, if they do end up winning this game, which would be even funnier, they have the highest or second highest strength of schedule, so they could go all the way down to
And the,
8 or maybe 9
yeah.
potentially. Um, and then if you're the Giants, I mean, I don't know what you do. I mean, you guys could have Kirk Cousins if you want. I think that would be interesting while you just wait for another quarterback. But
Yeah.
you signed Sam
Derek Carr
Darnold.
might be Justin Fields.
Hey, I
Like I
will
think
say,
there's
I saw something on Twitter. If they got Jameis Winston, like Malik Neighbors is a must fantasy
oh,
grab next year. Like
oh, that
that's
would
a
be
must
ridiculous.
fantasy grab because he would just
Yeah.
be slinging it to him all the time. So I don't know though. It's going to be an interesting game. That really kind of the whole essence of this game is going to be the Eagles' offense and their and Saquon Barkley because they could care less if they lose this game. They could care less if they win this game. I think is do they want to go after the record and what are the implications from that? And then I agree with you. If they do that, then once it gets to 101 yards or 102 yards, whatever it is to break it, I bet you're like, get off. Everybody get off. Like
Yeah.
the whole subs,
Yeah.
like gold team out, white team in, like
Yeah.
that's it. So
Yeah.
it'll be fun to watch. That'll be one of the games I definitely want to tune into just to see if he can break the record because I
Mhm.
remember when Peterson, I don't know if you remember this, but
Yeah.
yeah. So when Peterson had his 2012 season and came 8 yards short, we were driving to go see family as well. And we were listening to this game on the radio. And we all got super silent because we hear like Peterson runs through the tackle. He's at the 10, the 5. Oh, like he just missed or no, like the
Yeah.
15 to 10. Like because if he scored a touchdown,
And
he would have broken the record. But he fell 8
yeah.
yards
I
just
think he
short.
was a little bit further away than that. I thought he was at like the 20, like the 25 or 20. But
It's
you get
whatever
the
it
point.
was. Yeah.
And listening to Adrian Peterson kind of break that down, he was talking about like he went back and he's watched that like hundreds of times. Like if he would have just broken this way, could he have broken an arm tackle to continue to go up the sideline? But like they were running out of time, so the Vikings were trying to get him this record, but then they were also like, we have to kick a field goal so we can go to the playoffs. So that was kind of the
They're trying to
balance that they
manage
were
everything. Yeah.
yeah that they were trying to strike. So I think if you have the opportunity to break a record, especially this one where like 2,108 yards
5 yards.
or 2,105 yards is this profound number that it's been a record for such a long time. You have an opportunity to go break it. I think you do it, and then answer questions about it later. I know if you ask the players, they're going to want to do it, but I think this is one of those things where this team wants to go out and be the best rushing offense to ever play. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I I think it'll be fun. Back to the game. We're both taking the Eagles, so let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. Leave a comment down below on if you think Saquon Barkley should go after Eric Dickerson's single season rushing yard record. Or if so, if why not, let us know down below. And other than that, we'll see you guys next time.